Alright, the first thing we want to do is go ahead and go to our tutorial 01, getting started. So inside of your project tab, if you go to your 2D Mario assets and you open it up, you'll see a scenes. You can click on the scenes drop down. You'll notice the first one that we're going to go to is tutorial 01, getting started. Go ahead and double click on that to open it up. Now, what we want to do inside of this one, yours is probably working, but I want to make sure I point out an element in here is that we don't have a light inside our scene. Okay, this is going to be the very first thing that we're looking at, because to get everything going, we want to make sure we actually have a light showing. If you notice in the game tab is showing right here and everything's kind of dark. There's no reason to actually place a light in the scene, we just have to raise the ambient level. So if you go over to your edit, and you go down to render settings, inside the render settings, there's an ambient light inside your inspector tab. You want to just take the ambient light and drag it all the way up to white. If you had it all the way down at black, you would be creating like a silhouette game. So if you were wanting to make a game where you just saw silhouette figures only, you could do something similar to this with a self-illumination element to it. But for us, we want to have zero lights in the scene. We just simply want to have the ambient level taken all the way up. Alright? So this is going to be the first element that we want to have in terms of getting started. The next part, just for this first part, tutorial 01, getting started area, is just to kind of introduce you into the objects and the items that are currently created for you. All the items inside of here are currently prefabs. You'll notice that if you click on the prefabs folder down below it, you'll see all of your prefab objects. All of them have the prefab label beforehand, and then have the item or the element or pickup after. Now we've already created all these for you. However, if you want to get the practice, and this is great practice, is just delete all the prefabs, and using your prefab tool that you created, go through with just the basic object. So for instance, our model, the only model that we actually need right here, is going to be the sprite. The sprite object is this one right here. This is what I used to create all the shapes with. So every one of these, if I turn this onto the texture wireframe, you'll notice that all of these just simply have a single sprite right through here, which is just simply the sprite. You drag it on, you drag your material type onto it, and then through your hierarchy, I would just click on one of the objects, and I would use my my prefab creator script and create the prefab from it. Alright, so be sure that if you are working through this and you actually want to go through all those steps, to go ahead and do that. Again, like I said, it's wonderful practice to be able to get your head wrapped around not only the setup process, but all the objects that are currently available to you. Other than that, just take some time. You can go through here, you can click on different objects and items, and you can see what they are, and start kind of getting an idea of what you want to use them for. Alright, so with that in mind, this is going to finish off our getting started part. This again will also be a template that you can actually pull up if you're going to create additional Mario levels. Then you'll be able to use this one once we get everything finished off on the scripting side. You'll be able to open this one up and start creating and using these elements.